AG Labs, my name is Ben, hello and welcome to the Micro Soldering Show. And today we repair an iPhone 7 together and we do a board swap because... Why? Because why? No, why? Why we do the board swap on this iPhone 7 core conversion? Because another repair company worked on a board and they tried to fix a connector. So I worked on my microscope. Now when I see sharp, you should see sharp too. So that's much better in the videos. So they changed the connector here on the top and they ripped a lot of small parts here and here and here and everywhere. So I just took off the CPU, I took off the baseband CPU, they already tried to rebuild that, I don't know why, and I took off the NAND. And now it's just preparing the new board and swapping over the parts. I already prepared the CPU. Here we got some dirt, move it away. I prepared the baseband CPU and I prepared the NAND, okay? So these parts are pretty okay, I think, and we can use them. So I already checked that we can read the ROMs for the baseband and for the logic ROM. That's pretty okay. So now it's just preparing the swap board, cleaning the board, checking the values, and taking over the CPU, the baseband CPU, and the NAND, plus swapping the logic ROM data and the baseband EEPROM data. So let's see if we can do that in a pretty fast way. I hope that the microphone works well. So we just changed the microphone to a non-cable, cable-free, wire-free, wireless like ever microphone. And yeah, I hope that you can see everything because we changed the camera settings too. So if now, before it was if I saw sharp on my eyepieces on the top, you didn't see sharp on the screen. Now you should see what I see. So let's check that. What you hear in the background is Andy just filling up some contact cleaner. Oh, I don't think so too, yeah. Yeah, I think so too. So the next episode, Tech Talk, will come within the next days. We are just waiting for our guest for the confirmation of the date. So the guest is a secret, David. So we know, but people don't know. Okay, see, first we have to clean the glue between the CPU and the parts around the CPU. Slightly clean because we need the board, we don't need the CPU in this case, okay? Always on one board which we prepare for the swap, we have to take care for the board. And the other board where we take out the CPU, it's not about the board, it's just about the components we need. So for me it was like thinking about if it makes more sense to replace all the loose parts they had on the board after they work, or just swapping the board because it's faster. And I know that the board is really okay because I don't know what they did with the board. It just looks like they played cowboy and Indiana. Was this yeah, was this German or English or mixed? I don't know. Ich glaube, das Telefon geht, David. Okay, Elias told me that it was multilingual, what I said. So, okay, you see I have to take off the glue between the parts, between the baseband and the parts around the baseband CPU, gently. We have a Qualcomm board, so we have a small baseband CPU, not as big as the Intel one. This coil is a little crappy, so we have to check it here. Okay, and now we just switch the board side to the back side, and oh, only about 2 hours until I can order my new iPhone. Did you all order the iPhone 12, or do you order the iPhone 12 today? That's the question. I ordered the iPhone 12 Pro, and I'm pretty happy about that. So now I just take off the glue here. Taking off the glue between the NAND and the small parts around the NAND. My wife is coming in. Hello. How it was at the hairdresser. Wir haben schon FaceTime telefoniert mit dem Fredo. Okay. Now it's all about taking off the glue here. Done. After taking off the glue, it's just like taking off the CPU, the baseband CPU, and after that the NAND. So just taking the hot air, activate, and give it a little bit of temperature to take off the main CPU. So as you see, you need to wait a little bit, move the air, wait until you can get in under the CPU, gently go in here and gently remove the CPU. Okay, done. Schatzi, wir haben schon beim Fredo angerufen und bei der Laura. War alles gut? So now we just take off the baseband CPU, so removed CPU and baseband CPU. Okay, after that we just take, and you see we don't have any solder balls around, so the heat was perfectly on the CPU, nothing around got too much heat. So just a little bit of flux here. And then we just take the solder wick and some solder paste right onto the solder iron, and then we just go over the complete area under the CPU. As you can see, like this. We try to take off the glue and cleaning the pads in one step. Same here at the baseband CPU area. I just have to take the phone, 1 second. Ja, bitte. Hallo, eine Sekunde gerade. Ich muss doch gerade noch das Mikrofon. So, I'm back here. Sorry, it was an important call because of our new factory building, because we are just moving the place within the next month, and there are some dates here, and yeah, it was the bank. They called just for saying that all is okay, and they are just waiting for some formalities, Formalien. Kannst du die Pakete annehmen? Sorry. Okay, so now we just have to clean the surface. So one time cleaning. It's like always, we have to clean several times. But Andi, die 3 Sachen auf der Theke bitte mitgeben, ne? Okay. So, and now we just have to clean here. Again, by using some wick. Okay. Now just cleaning the PCB here. It's a Qualcomm board, and the clue on this board, not on all them Qualcomms, but on this board, we have a little bit harder clue. So it's just like it needs a little bit more heat on cleaning, and a little bit more going with the wick. Okay. So now it's just cleaning. Hello. Now it's just cleaning the board. You can see we have to jumper 1 pad here on the bottom, or not. I have to see. I think yes. like this here. And like this here. Always take care if you do that. It's just gently cleaning. So have a look that the edges are all clean. This looks okay here. Just one little area here where I see some glue. This is always like just having a close look with your eyes. That all is okay. Move this away here. And if you feel these pads with the tool, it's just like they are much harder than on other boards. Okay, cleaning with the wipe and the Kianli glue cleaning too. Like this here. And another wipe. Yeah, normally it's just cleaning really faster, but in this case it's a Qualcomm board which needed a lot of heat, and the glue was really hard. So, and again, just some flux here for taking the solder off the pads of the baseband CPU area. Done. And now it's all about one little jumper here. Okay. As you see, sometimes I need to do things like jumpering something too. Hast du das machen lassen, das Ding bei W oder was? well done it. Okay, now we have to set the jumper here. Like this. Okay, and then we do a cut. And using some UV, small amount. So, jetzt wird nochmal gearbeitet, ne? Hier anstelle von Scheißdreck machen. So, now we just set the jumper. Meine Frau ist auch noch drüben im Haus, ne? Macht noch die Heizung. So. And now we have a perfect pad again here. Okay? So, this looks pretty good. Area here looks good too. Always be sure that the pads are flat. Now I just want to see for the value. And the value is fine, it's 006 with NAND in. So now we take off the NAND. As you can see, we have only have a little bit of dirt here, but we have no balls around the power IC. So all is looking fine here. Okay, that's pretty okay. And looks good. So we now just take off the NAND. We have already cleaned around. So it's just peeling off. Taking out the NAND. Just wait until the solder melts. Done. Okay. And you can see, and this happens really often on the boards where you have a hard underfill. I really see this very often, that we have bad pads under the NAND. So a lot of them are NC. Normally always one pad goes which isn't NC, and you saw it was hard enough. I didn't have to use any was heißt Gewalt? Any I wasn't hard to the NAND on taking off. It was really soft. And except here you can see this pad is really bad too. So it's just a NAND, a board which is from the condition. From the condition, it has really soft pads under the NAND. So we have to be very carefully to don't lose more. Here, the pads here, I feel it. It's hard to go on here. Normally you can go even fast and hard over these pads. But in this case here, it's really being very carefully.
Versand erfolgt nach Zahlungseingang, wird also wahrscheinlich heute Namen sagen, aber sicher. Ah, genau, da erinnere ich mich schon, das habe ich persönlich gemacht. Gut.
So now it's just cleaning and hoping that we don't lose any more on cleaning. So if we lose something, we have to jump again. So you saw the pads on the CPU side were really strong and hard, and the glue was really hard. And here on the NAND side, it's not like on the CPU side. And it's really the board. So if you work on these devices and do these jobs, you know what I'm talking about. That sometimes the pad condition is really bad, and these are usually boards where you can get NAND errors after a time, after a small drop, because the connection of the pad to the board is bad, and a little drop and the trace to the pad breaks, or the pad rips out of the trace, and then you get errors like the error 9 or other NAND errors. So it's just being carefully now and trying not to rip anything. Here you can see this pad has been gone, but it was already loose before, you saw. Just setting one jumper and it will be fine again. Kennst du diese NANDs, Andi, an den iPhone 7ern, auf manchen Boards, wo die Pads unten drunter so weich sind? Ja? Ja, kommt vor, ne? Andy knows the problem. Saw it before too. And I saw it mostly on Qualcomm devices. Really. Only sometimes on Intel. Normally always Qualcomm. So I don't know what they did at factory, but it was a whole shit. Here we have to set jumper, and these pads should be all NC pads connected to nowhere. So control again, and as you can see, NC, NC, NC. You can see it on the pad that it is NC. And as you can see here, it's just one jumper which is needed. Here. Just taking a little tiny piece of solder. get it directly here, and then we take a bigger wire, not a 0.07, just like a 0.1 or something like that. You can see it's a bigger wire, which we can take for that easily. Okay. Then we take a little point of UV, take it here too. Seal with using the UV lamp. After that, controlling again the value for the board and then soldering back the components before just programming the board. So this can be very big like this. It's okay. As you can see, NC, all these are NC2. This one we have rebuilt, so we are done. Controlling the value of the board. It's a long time, 32 minutes for preparing the board, but it's caused by the condition of the board. And it's 003, perfect. Okay, and now we can just program the board. I just want to give you to the on-hands camera. Okay, then we use the JC Pro 1000S. I already did a unbind for the NAND. That is what I already did. So now it's just like reading the logic ROM from the old board and writing the logic ROM to the new board. And reading the baseband ROM from the old board and copy that to the new board. Done. Okay, that's all what we needed to do on programming the board. And now it's all about sitting back. The components. We start with the NAND. With the NAND we go straight to the microscope, taking the board. We have flux under the NAND itself, a little bit more because it's a big IC. Place it like that. Taking the big nozzle. And getting this chip down. You can see the baseband EEPROM, which we programmed the minute before. Done. Wait a short time, and then I just see that there we have some dirt on the CPU. See that? Here. Just want to move that away. Rest of the CPU looks pretty good, I think. So just for a picture. Okay, now we can sit back the baseband CPU. We set one jumper here too on the right bottom. So it was the A1. And now we can solder down. So just some heat, and we should be ready within the next seconds. Yes, perfect. Now control again. If we have dirt, in any area, like this here, and if it looks like that, I think it's pretty okay. I just want to take one picture with the CPU. Okay. Recontrol for any dirt. Looks pretty okay. And now we can just solder that CPU back to the board. Have a look that it's well aligned. I think like this should be okay. Yeah, looks good. And we can just use the hot air to solder that CPU down. So it's really worked slow. So if you speed up the work, it can be much faster on doing these CPU swaps. But if you do video and explain like that, it just can take some time. Okay. Waiting a short time for cooling down. And let's see. You see that all the balls are well connected. It's straight. And we should now do a test run. by using a screen. I just want to connect the ambient light sensor too. And power supply, and now it's all about booting the device, and we should see an Apple within the next minute. Here we are back to life again with our iPhone 7 after a complete board swap. I don't know if there is a private picture, so I go here. You can see that I keep the screen here just for hiding private informations, and I don't know if there is there is no personal image in the background, so you can see that we have SIM is not put it in, so we have baseband, all is okay. And yeah, I want to do now the complete function of the device and reassemble the complete board. So it was all about rip components completely around the FPC here and next to the CPU here, and these coils were loose because somebody used too much heat in a repair, and so we fixed that by just swapping the whole board, and it will work fine. Okay, I hope you liked the video. Anyway, I would be very happy to see you at our Facebook group, Smartphone Repair Group Germany, but please answer the questions, otherwise we can't accept you. And you should buy an ICC Pro V2 on iccpro.de. It's a great device and you should get that, okay? I'm out and we see us with the next one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel and hit the bell. Bye.